We had a big meeting on that Friday before the 14th, I believe, or around the 14th. And then we were given the option of remaining on campus or returning to our home diocese. Certain bishops called their seminarians home, and they had plans for their seminarians to go into parishes. Our diocese was very flexible, so we had the option of staying at St. Charles or returning back to the diocese. Lots of men took different options. I came home, immediately contacted my home pastor here at St. Pat's, and he was very gracious and generous in allowing me to stay in the rectory for over 2 months. It ended up being. We didn't know that at the time, but it ended up being over 2 months. And I was very lucky to be there with Father Bender, my pastor, Father Raja, our parochial vicar, and then my old friend and fellow seminarian Aaron Lynch is here as well. It definitely became part of formation. In fact, it was pretty much most of our formation for those last 2 months. The seminary prepares us for most everything except rectory life, because at St. Charles, at least, there's 150 of us living together, eating together, worshiping together. So the lifestyle is not the same as a rectory, where many of our priests in our diocese actually live alone. So I was really glad, all things considered, to get to live in a parish for those 2 months, to live in a rectory, and get to see how rectory life is, learn to live with brother seminarians and priests, and see if that's something I'm comfortable with, a new experience. We actually had a really ideal setup for formation outside of the seminary. Father Bender was very respectful of our need for continued studies, of our need to stay in touch with formation at the seminary and whatnot. So he really said at the beginning, I will offer Mass and you are expected to be there. And we were lucky to be able to attend Mass in person during those 2 months and receive the sacrament. Very blessed for that. But overall, Father Bender was actually very respectful of our need to continue our studies. So if we were studying, he respected that, but he also really encouraged us and gave us many opportunities to be involved in the parish. So for those live stream liturgies or other worship opportunities, Aaron and I were very much so involved. We were the sacristans, we were the tech crew, we were the servers, we were the lectors. You know, what it usually takes a whole parish family to run, Aaron and I were called upon to fulfill those little obligations. There are other things around, like decorating for Holy Week. Aaron and I had never done that before. We've been involved in those liturgies, but never to this unique extent. So we got to do that. Being in conversations where Father Bender's figuring out how to minister to his parish when he can't be there in person. Cooking meals for the priests. After the semester ended, the academic semester ended, I talked to Father Bender and our vocation director and made sure everyone was all right with me coming home for a few weeks to be with my family, enjoy a little bit of post-school relaxation. And I will be moving to St. Joan of Arc in Hershey next week when everyone begins their summer assignments. This is a new situation to everyone. Us seminarians as students are not comfortable with it. Our professors and administrators, it was new to them. So everyone kind of took it in stride as best they could. And there was a lot of making do. And so I'm really grateful for my professors' flexibility and a lot of my brother seminarians' resiliency, because lots of guys went home to their home families and not to quiet rectories. So I really got to see that side of some of my brother seminarians. You know, they're in class learning deep theological truths about persons and hypostases, and then their little sister comes into the screen and asks her big brother to help her with, you know, getting breakfast ready. So a lot of resiliency shown by my brother seminarians pushing through this difficulty. I think the biggest thing, though, is that none of us knew what was going on. None of us knew how to deal with it. So everyone was making do in whatever way they could. I think we had 2 days to move out of St. Charles and get back home to our home diocese, and then classes started again. We were right back on it right away. There was no letting up, no slowing down. It was go, go, go as far as academic formation went. The in-person tangibility of formation, it's not supposed to be like this. I'm supposed to be around my brother seminarians who can correct me and guide me, and my formators do the same. There's no replacing in-person human interaction. So that's been something I've really lost. We can call each other, text each other, see each other on Zoom, but I live across the hall next to my best friends, and I don't see them like I usually see them, getting coffee in the morning and whatnot. So that's something I really miss. Also praying together. At the seminary, we have Mass, and we pray morning and evening prayer together every single day in person. 100 of us on the upper side, 50 on the lower side. And praying the hours by yourself is not the same. So I was a undergrad student before the seminary. I graduated high school. I went to the University of Dallas, and then I entered the seminary. There was no time in my life where I was simply working. So I was never able to amass any amount of money. I was paying off student debt. And then I entered the seminary after my student debt was all clear. But then when I entered, I didn't have capital to support myself. I couldn't afford to pay for grad school. I couldn't afford, the seminary is grad school. I couldn't afford to keep up car payments or cell phone or any of that. So I rely entirely on my diocese to take care of me in that regard. On top of the necessity of seminary life, I wouldn't have been able to support myself in just regular day-to-day things that humans need. Going out to dinner once in a while with friends or seeing a movie. Just simple things like that keep us happy and healthy are very much so really impacted by the Pentecost collection, which frees up seminarians to go to school when they might not be able to afford it on their own, and then give themselves truly fully, and not have to worry about making these other financial payments that are so often a stress on many grad students. God willing, if I get ordained, I won't disappear. I'm a diocesan seminarian for the Diocese of Harrisburg. I'll be a diocesan priest. You don't ordain a priest and then he's free to do whatever he wants. He can't move to Hawaii and become a vacation priest. No, I will be a priest for my people here in Harrisburg. And all I want to do is serve. This time in formation is purely for the sake of being able to serve you one day. So that's all I desire. I'm looking forward to that, probably more than any of you all are, because that's all I want to do. That is why I chose this life, is to serve you. So when you support me and my brother seminarians in the Pentecost collection, the men before me who have gotten ordained, the men after me who will come and get ordained, we're not doing this for ourselves to leave after we get a nice degree. We're doing it. We're in formation to serve you, and you are supporting us so that we will come back and, God willing, be your priest one day. Like I said, I cannot do this. None of my brother seminarians could do this if we were not supporting the Pentecost collection, if our diocese was not taking care of us. So complete thanks and utter dependency and gratitude to my diocese, to the people who give to the Pentecost collection. You are all who make it possible for me to be in formation. All the priests in your diocese are priests because of the Pentecost collection. They didn't do it for the Pentecost collection. The Pentecost collection is what made it happen. Being a seminarian during quarantine is very similar to everyone else in quarantine. I've suffered, you have all suffered. The sacraments are meant to be in person, and they will come back soon. Our bishop is doing everything he can. I look forward to that just as much as the next person. And while I've been away from the sacraments, being at home, I haven't been going to daily mass for safety reasons. I've really appreciated the importance of intercessory prayer. Even when I was receiving the sacraments, living in the rectory, the importance of praying for people who can't receive or aren't close to the church. So many parents in our diocese pray for their children who aren't members of the church. And I got a little taste of that during this quarantine, the importance of praying for others who need those prayers. So keep praying for each other. Keep praying for us seminarians. We're praying for you. We'll all be back to Mass soon enough, and we'll all have those donut socials after Mass soon enough. And that's what we're working for. We're working for Jesus and the sacraments.